packages and packages and packages of stuff you just order in because you're not going out.
Yeah.
And I got to the point. I went down to see family. I think it was Christmas 2021, and I just kind of like was existing there. And my bro from another Mo, Mr. Porkchop, my sister's partner, has been my sister's partner for over 15 years now. And it's just like, dude, if you need help, just reach out. I was like, fine, dude. And I think it was February 2022. I was just like, what am I doing? You know, what am I doing with myself? I've completely lost control of the house. It's a warehouse now. It's just a complete warehouse. I've lost control over my work, my health. I'm essentially immobile. I'm living in constant pain, and I'm not doing anything but shuffling myself back from one room to another. All my confidence, all my sort of self-respect, all that's just gone.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to just come to at least a nexus point where it's just like, I've got to make a decision here. Because if I continue this route, I'm going to be dead in a couple of years, probably. I'm just going to have a massive heart attack and it'll be, see you later, mate. Or I can try and do something. And the problem when you start to go down bad habits is you find it very difficult to find the start point, because you're looking at where you are now, and then you say to yourself, because I was saying to myself, because I'd accepted it, I'd accepted my fate, and because every time I'd see myself, I'd just be like, well, what can I do? It's too late. It's just absolutely too late. Can't do anything. There's no point. There's no start point. Because to even get to a bad point, I have to go through all this to get to a point where I'd still be in a bad state of repair. And then from the bad state of repair, you've got to try and get yourself into a decent state of repair. So I just saw no light at the end of the tunnel, just this darkness at the end of the tunnel. But I don't know what it was. I don't know. At least I don't know what the trigger point was. But I just decided, I think it was February 2022, where I called up Mr. Porkchop, my bro from another Mo, like I said, and I was just like, dude, I need help. I've completely lost control here, and I need to get it sorted. So Mr. Porkchop's just like, fine, I'll come up. Let's sort out. I can come up for a few days, and let's see what the damage is. Yeah. So he came up, and the house is just this warehouse. Every single room it's a hoarder's nightmare or a dream, whichever you think.
It'd be a dream for me, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, the front room is just complete and utterly boxes on the sofas. I've got nowhere to sit. Boxes on the floor. I've got barely any way to even move around the room. The office is just a clusterfuck of, sorry, excuse my language. It's That's just an absolute cluster of boxes and everything that I've got in. My bedroom, it's the same. In the bedroom, it's even worse because half of my bed is taken over with plastic boxes going up and up. So I've got half a bed. I was literally like crawling in and just lying on my side in half a bed, and then getting up, covered in boxes everywhere. So Mr. P comes over, and he's just kind of like, oh, and even the kitchen. And by the way, even the kitchen, boxes and boxes in the kitchen that you got barely any room. So Mr. P comes over and he's just like, okay, let's start with the kitchen. Let's see what we can do. Let's start the kitchen. So we start on the kitchen. I say we. It's at this point in time, it's 99% him and 1% me, because I'm just not even in a physical capacity to do any of this. So start off on in the kitchen, clear out the kitchen. So there's an actual kitchen there now. Statues are out. Take the statues out of the boxes, position them on top of a couple of cases. they've got a home now. So, and I think in his first visit they came up, we sorted out half of the front room as well. So the half where the TV was and a bit of the second sofa, because I did have 2 sofas at the side, kind of just clear off a space so you can sit, and the clear off space. So there's the TV, and then there's all the horrendous stuff next to it. So that's what we did in the first visit. Then over the course of the next year and a half, even now, because we're doing, I'll get to that, but we're doing stuff more aesthetically to the house now. So that was his first visit. Then he came back a couple of months later, finished off the rest of the front room, started sorting out the bedroom, and started sorting out bits of the office. Third visit, kind of completely sorting the rest of the bedroom, completely sorting the rest of the office. Got a storage unit. So all the stuff that was just stacked, now in storage. So it's there in storage. And suddenly the house was reclaimed. I'm not professing to be a massive fan of the guy, but not a detractor of the guy, but just don't know too much. But I have always heard from Jordan Peterson about clean your room, clean your room, clean your mind. And it's insane how true that is, because the less cluttered the house got, the more free my mind seemed to become, and the more focused I could suddenly become. So I think it was by time we got to December of 2022, at the beginning of December, I was like, okay, the house is getting sorted bit by bit. It's not in a terrible state now. It's in a decent state now. Everything's been cleaned off. The rooms are cleared out, storage sorted, Can I start working on me? So I had some huge Achilles heels. The constant ordering in of food, energy drinks. I was literally blitzing energy drinks. Because I was using energy drinks as the only way that I could exist. The only way that I could function was to pep myself up with an energy drink. Otherwise, I had no energy because I wasn't eating right. So I wasn't getting the proper nutrients, wasn't getting the proper food, wasn't exercising. So I'm not getting natural dopamine or endorphins being released. So I'm using energy drinks as a literal stimulant to keep me going. And I'd be crushing 3, 4, 5, 6 a day just to function. So I was like, well, let's that's one thing. And another thing is soda, or we call it fizzy pop in the UK. So those two were like huge Achilles heels for me, as well as the food. So I was like, okay, let's start with not having any energy drinks. So I think it's the 1st of December, I decided to either give up fizzy pop or give up energy drinks. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. I'd have to revert back. But at the beginning of December 2022, I said, right, no more energy. Go a day. And let's see if we can make one day 2. So I go a day. So I make it 2 days, and then 3, and then 4. And then I think it gets to day 10. I was like, okay, I've now done 10 days without energy drinks. Can I bring fizzy pop into this now and start giving up fizzy pop? Or is it going to be too much too soon? So I start giving up fizzy pop on, I think, the 10th of December 2022. And then that becomes a day 1 and a day 2 and a day 3 and a day 4. And it gets to Christmas that year. And I go down to my family again that Christmas. So this is the next Christmas. And it's just like, oh, yeah, I'm not allowed any pop. So don't give me any pop. Okay. And I'm like, okay, no, fine. No pop.
Yeah.
So it gets to, I think it was Boxing Day. And we start the day off with a Bucks Fizz. I think it's champagne. We call it Bucks Fizz, champagne, orange juice, mimosa, samosa, mimosa. You call it, okay.
I love mimosas.
Well, yeah. So I'm thinking, actually, why should we? I don't drink that much. Why not add alcohol to this list? Because I've done 3 weeks of these other 2. Let's bring alcohol. Let's see if we can bring alcohol in. So I decided to add alcohol to that as well. So suddenly these little things are adding up, and I start keeping a record of it, and I start posting the record on social media. Day something without pop. day something something without energy drinks, day something something without alcohol. And I think it then got to April of 2023 where I said, let's stop ordering in takeaway food. Let's stop it. Let's see if we can stop it. Let's start to eat better. Not clean. I'm not going to profess to, nonsense. But let's just see if we can eat better. So no takeaway food. So to get your food, you're going to have to go out to the supermarket, which is just getting you out, getting you a little bit more mobile. So in April of 2023, I cut out ordering in takeaway food. And then that starts to progress and progress. And I think it gets to June of last year. And I think it's June the 6th, there or thereabouts. And I said to myself, let's just go and join a gym. So I joined a gym that was probably about half an hour, 20 minutes drive to the gym. And I go and I do, I think it's a Sunday afternoon. And I go and all I do, I think, is go onto the treadmill, nice and slow, and just go onto the treadmill for a little bit. Half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. Nothing too major. And I'm like, okay, let's start to escalate that. So I come out and I think I do a little video for social media. I was just like, if a fat bastard like me can go to the gym, then so can you. And then it started to become a better addiction, because all the things which were negative in my life, the drink, the pop, the alcohol, energy drinks, ordering in food, not having them became the new addiction. So seeing the number of days go up and up and up, but you don't have them, that became the thing to sort of counteract having them. So it kind of took something that was massively negative and tried to turn it into a positive. And then I started to go to the gym more regularly. And I think it got to, it was June that I also decided to get onto the scales for the first time in God knows how long. And it became a systematic approach where let's do a week of good food, or a week of decent food, a week of good exercise, get on the scale, see what's happening. So I was doing that, and I was seeing little changes here and there, but I realized that there's only little changes because I'm still not eating as good as I could eat. So then I started to look into more calorie control elements of it, because you can have not a lot of food, but that food could be high in calories, or it could be the wrong type of food, saturated foods, and I started to do research into other aspects, and right now I'm in a fucking huge rabbit hole about cholesterol, which is actually good for you and not bad for you. Cholesterol is actually excellent at preventing things like Alzheimer's and stuff like this. And essentially, we've been fed this unbelievable lie by the food industry as regards to things that are good for us and things that are not good for us. You know, so like things like cholesterol, good for us; butter, good for us; eggs, good for us; red meat, good for us. All the horrendous processed stuff which the industry's pushing out, margarine, stuff like that, horrendous for us. All these things which are being touted as healthier for you. No, they're not. They're killing you, absolutely killing you. So I started to just go down these avenues, and roughly between, I think it's April, I can say between April of 2023 and now September of 2024, I've essentially shifted somewhere in the region of 140 pounds. But there's still a long way for me to go. And it's not an easy journey, because when you go down these journeys, the longer that you kind of on them, and the longer that they require so much mental energy and focus, as well as physical energy and focus, the harder it becomes. So there are periods like it, February, March, April of this year, I went through a lull. In actual fact, I went back up a bit because I just kind of lost that focus, and I got back onto it. And then recently again, I've sort of like lost the focus a bit, and now I'm trying to like recorrect back onto the process. So I did this thing called the 2-year plan, or at least it started off as being the 2-year plan. And I kind of realized I need to, for all well and good that nice things that they are, just put them to one side for the moment and just concentrate on the plan, period. Because it's most likely going to take me more than a couple of years. But at the same time, it needs to be done right. If I'm going to do something like this, I have to do it properly. You can't take shortcuts, nonsense like surgery and stuff. You need to repair that as well as the body. So repairing that gets you in a better mindset about what type of foods you eat and in what quantities you eat them. Don't demonize anything, but at the same time, don't gorge on stuff. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of naughty, but it's about balancing the bit of naughty by being good with other aspects as well. If you overdo the naughty, then you're just going to push yourself back down the wrong avenue. So I'm starting to learn with that. I'm sort of like tripping and falling at times, but I'm getting back up and sort of learning about this. It's so easy to say things in moderation, but it's so true. There's nothing wrong with a bit of moderation. What is the important part is to try and get that focus. So it's an ongoing journey. It's a journey which is going to require a lot of focus, a lot of time. I'm kind of refocusing back at the moment to go on another big drive, but I'm finding it difficult, and I need to probably forgive myself a little bit at times. But I'm finding it so difficult to appreciate how much I've done, because I'm always living in the now of where I actually am, which is not a bad thing, because I don't want to go back to where I was. But at the same time, I think it's always good when you go on these journeys to remember, yeah, you did a good job, but look where you are now, and you still got a long way to go. So trying to get those focus back again, it's so important, but it ain't easy. But I'm trying.
No, but the thing is, you have to. The one thing that I've seen on people that I know that have started a weight loss journey or working out regimens, to try to change themselves, they get bored. And besides getting bored, they think, oh, I don't have a life now because I've given up everything. I can't do anything. Like, I went to breakfast this morning with my sisters and they wanted to go to Waffle House. Well, I'm allergic to gluten. So I had to pick just a few things off the menu and have them make it, separate for me. But I was able to do it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I made a little sacrifice, but I had a great time. I got to spend time with my sisters, and we talked about things that are going on in our lives. And you can't cut that out. You got to have human contact. You've got to still do the things that you enjoy, but just learn how to move things around and still enjoy eating, and exercising, and make it as fun as you can. That's why I change up my routines. I add new exciting little things that, like belly dancing or different things that you can add. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do that, but you think of different things, like different sports you might want to try in the summer, or a new thing that comes out at the gym or something like that, or jazzercise, or or yoga. There's so many different things, but the thing is adding something new to see whether or not you like it or not, to take you out of that little lull where you're starting to feel like, I'm sick of this. You know what I mean? Because I understand exactly what you're talking about when it comes to that.
You hit the nail on the head when it came to boredom, because I think that's one of the reasons I lose focus. Is because I think I'm going down a good avenue. Oh, I'm going to do this. And there was a period of time where I'd be eating pre-made meals, fresh pre-made meals, but pre-made meals. And then I would sort of really become picky about the type of meal that I have. And then suddenly I was bored with them because I was having the same thing over and over again. So even though calorically I was doing well, I was bored out of my head. Then you lose focus.
Yep.
Then you lose focus and you go off track. One of the beauties about going on this journey is essentially going from being immobile to being mobile. And so even things like nice walks become really awesome. And I'm a country boy. I live in the country. So it doesn't take much. I just have to walk pretty much 5 minutes in any direction. And I can just go into fields and wilderness and all that kind of stuff. Or even just go around and have wonderful views and still walk around, a nice area. So things like being able to go out for these nice walks, being summertime, it's been nice to do that. Recently went on a bit of a holiday. Went down to Port Merion in Wales where they filmed the Prisoner series. That's really sort of up and down in terms of lots of, slopes and stuff. So that was just good to walk around in general because it was a constantly shifting pattern. The gym, of course, hitting the gym now. I've varied my routines at the gym. I went a couple of days ago, Tuesday. I went Tuesday. And then I decided I'm just going to do cardio today. I'm just going to do different cardio. So I just did different cardio exercises. So variety is so important, not just in food, but exercise and just what you do in general. And like this is such a basic thing, but just becoming that more mobile and everything, it just makes you more active to clean the house. So I'll be doing a video, I'll be working on a video, and I'm just like, I need a break. And I'll just, instead of just like sat down and doing nothing, I'll go out and I'll go downstairs and I'll get the Hoover and I'll start hoovering up the house. Or I'll go and I'll fill up the washing machine, or I'll put some laundry on. And you just find yourself just keeping on top of the house as well as everything else as well. And little things like that, doing a bit of housework every day, suddenly you burn 100, 200 calories, which might not seem a lot, but in the grand scale of things, it's little things that just add up. Boredom, keeping your mind active, keeping your mind fresh is so important, because boredom is the killer. Boredom is the apathetic killer, and it will cause you to...
Besides your channel and collecting your collectibles and things like that, do you have any other habits or interesting hobbies that you like to do that keep you busy, to keep your mind going, keep you motivated?
That could go places.
No,
you don't
have to do if it's too personal, but I'm just
no. I mean, yeah, sure. With my channel, I do video gaming and stuff. That is a hobby. I mean, that's a legitimate hobby of mine. I have this ridiculously fortunate life where when I started to do YouTube, I never did it with the intention of like being the next big thing or anything like that, which I think is a lot of people's sort of mindset. Oh yeah, I'm going to go become a YouTuber. I'm going to become huge and massive. I'm going to be the next PewDiePie or whatever it is. But with me, I just thought I just hate working for the man. Pretty much every company that I'd worked for, because I used to work in like sales, marketing, stuff like that, customer service. So you would always work your ass off. And if you were operating on bonus schemes, the better you did, the harder they made it for you to get your bonuses. So I was just like, this is bullshit. This is just bullshit. I'm working myself ragged so that they can make my job consistently harder, and they're always reaping the benefits of my work. I'm the only one that's potentially having any detriment here. So I just said to myself, look, would it be great with the development of things like YouTube? Wouldn't it be great if I could just earn a living? Just earn a living on YouTube. Wouldn't it be great if I could just wake up, do what I wanted, post a video, do a stream, and get paid for it, and be able to put food on my table and pay my bills? So I had this attitude of, as long as I could pay my bills and put food on my table, I'd always do this. And I'm just so fortunate that it grew and it grew and it grew to the point where, I can do a lot more than that and still do what I love. So, to come and go, oh, I'm off to work today, which involves sitting down and playing a video game for 5-6 hours, where people are coming in and not just watching you, but some of them are super chatting or membershiping or stuff like that, and paying me to do it. I'm just like, this is the world's greatest job.
Well, the thing is the reason I feel that you've done so well is because you're real. Okay. When I first started watching you, I first saw you on Friday Night Tights. Okay. Because I watched the Inquisition with Doomcock and Nerdrotic, and I just thought that was great, and I laughed all the time. And then I saw you on there, so I went to your channel and started watching you on that. And it was that you were so into what you were doing. You acted like you enjoyed it, and you were fun, and it was unscripted. It was very real. And that's why I started watching. I started following you more and more and what you were doing. Then I found out you were on Instagram, so I started following you over there, simply because the Instagram is totally different than YouTube. Okay, YouTube is more longer videos and stuff, but I could see little snippets of what you were doing, what was going on, a really quick version of it. And I just loved it because I just thought you were fun and real, a real person. And I could feel that coming through. And I think other people felt the same way, because you guys inspired me to maybe do it myself, because I was on TikTok and I made videos on that. And a few other people that hung out in you guys' chats were saying, hey, why don't you start putting your stuff on YouTube, because, they're doing shorts now. So that's how I started to do it myself, not because I think it's going to do anything or anything like that. It's because I like doing it, and I do it as a hobby. This is my fun time, and watching you guys and getting to sit in the chat and talk to the other people that are enjoying your content. It's fun for me too. So I can see why you're doing it, and I think you're going to get way bigger. You probably double your follower count probably within less than a year, I think. And because I just think that you're a real down-to-earth person that can connect with us. And then when you started your workout stuff, I was like, oh, this is awesome, because not only is he helping inspire us through not being nervous about being a nerd or a geek and enjoying these things, now he's even doing the physical fitness, and it's going to get more people like us, which I consider myself a geek because I play DD and, I love comic books and cosplay and stuff. But it inspires people like us, the ones that are like in the cracks, I guess you could say that, or whatever, that stand back, that aren't in the sports and doing all that. You make us feel like we're one of the real people, that we can also do fun things and enjoy our lives and be healthy at the same time. I just want to say that's the reason why you inspire me.
Well, I mean, I'm fortunate enough, in as much as I've lived a life before YouTube. Before YouTube, I was working for 20 years. So I've worked all kinds of jobs, from when I first started as a teenager, flipping burgers and stuff like that, to sales, marketing, management. So I've lived a life. I've gone through uni. I've gone through this and that. So coming on to YouTube, I've already existed in the world. I know what the world's about. I'm not sheltered. So coming on to then, I'm not sort of one of these like chronically online people that are just like, okay, this is now my whole life and identity is YouTube, or how do I follow this trend or that trend or the other. I think the mentality of coming onto a platform, even though I wanted to make money from it, I wanted it to be my job. But I always had that realistic expectation that I'd be happy if it was my job. If it paid me £30,000 a year or whatever, I'd be like, fucking awesome. That's enough to pay bills, put food on my table, and still have some disposable. So that'd be amazing. So to have things develop the way it has been like, wow, that's incredible. But I don't in any way, shape, or form believe that I'm above anyone or anything like that. As far as I'm aware, my audience is exactly who I am, and in as much as we all love the same things and we all have the same mentality in what we love. So I never, I've seen some insane videos from other content creators, the way that they talk as if there's some sort of fucking amazing, person. Oh yes, I'm you little plebeians of mine, What the hell? How dare you talk to people like that? No, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. It's not a persona. It's not a these aren't fake. These are just things which I'm just fucking fortunate enough to be able to get. But these are the things that I love. You know, I grew up on Transformers. I grew up on He-Man, Thundercats, Jackson Livingston fighting fantasy books, Anne McCaffrey's Pern stuff. You know, I grew up on all this nerd stuff, Star Trek, Star Wars. I think the first time I saw yourself is you did a Star Trek cosplay. And I thought it looked really good. So I think I shouted it out in a video. I was gonna die because I'm wearing red. yeah. Well, you're red shirt. Yeah. That's them. There's the rules. I'm afraid.
Yes.
But no, I'm as big as nerd as anyone else. I don't have any other pretensions about that. I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm just happy to be the guy that I want. That's why I don't give a flying fuck. You know, when somebody's just like, oh, look at this guy ranting about this or that. Yeah, that's me. That's who I am. Right? That's who I am. That's who I've always been. You know, I'll see something and I might just be apathetic about it. I might love it. I might hate it. But my responses are going to be as genuine as I can possibly make them. And as a YouTuber, yeah, you do have the mentality that you've got to make your stuff entertaining for people, but it doesn't have to compromise who you are. You know, if you don't portray your genuine self, then how are you able to connect to people? It won't make sense. Somebody's not going to be able to connect with you or feel that you're being authentic or genuine if you're putting on a fake persona. Now, sure, you can put on a wig and stuff like that and play a character if that's your thing. That's fine, because you are playing a character and you can separate yourself from that and whatnot. But if you're like myself or Gary or Jeremy or whoever it may be, and you're just coming out in front of a camera and you're talking about whatever you want to talk about, whatever show it is or whatnot, then to me, the best way to do it is just be yourself. And if people love you for it, they're going to love you for it. If they hate you for it, they're going to hate you for it. I mean, the name heel versus babyface, the heel's the bad guy, the babyface is the good guy. Because I'm an opinionated twat. And some people are going, and I'm the Marmite. Some people are going to love me because they're going to be, oh, look at this guy. This guy just speaks his mind. And some people are going to go, this guy's hideous. He's got no filter. He just, you know, he doesn't say that. I get that. I absolutely get that. But once upon a time, that was fine. Nobody gave a shit about that. Now we seem to be in this era where people are so desperate that you must conform to narratives. And no. So when something like the Starfield rant happened, when that went down and that just exploded fucking worldwide, and I'm getting bloody Fox News emailing me saying, can you come on for an interview? And I'm just like, what the fuck? Just like, no, I don't want to become a political pawn for anybody to go, let's own the left or let's own the right or whatever it is. No. I'm not here to be political. I am literally just fucking sick and tired of shit in these video games. And I have every right to voice my opinion about that. Again, you might like it, you might hate it.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. But Robert Meyer Burnett said it himself. He said, authenticity is the currency of tomorrow. Well, I think reasons why people like The Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic and channels like that have exploded is because these are very genuine people and they're very authentic people. And I think authenticity should exist and does exist now. And it's just whether or not your audience gravitate towards that or not. I don't ever want to be somebody else other than me, because if you're yourself at all times, you don't have to lie. You don't have to play a game. You don't have to play a role or a character. You can just authentically be you. And there are things that I'm going to do which are going to piss people off, even probably my most hardened supporters. They're going to be like, oh, for fuck's sake, Az. You know, but that's unapologetically me. I don't agree with everything my mum does. I don't agree with everything my friends do. My friends and I argue all the time about various crap, nonsense. That's just life. And it's so weird that the internet's got so binary, considering how much they don't want to be binary, how binary in their opinions, But I think that's got a lot to do with algorithms filtering people to just echo chambers all around the place. That's all they get fed, and therefore it's what their brain just accepts. But no, I'm very grateful that people have followed me or liked my channel or a video because of the way that I behave. I think being as genuine to yourself as you possibly can is the best policy when you're doing this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, one thing that I've noticed too is the loyalty of your fans. Okay, because a lot of the names that I see in the chat are the same names that I saw 5 years ago. And to me, that tells me that they feel the same way I do, that it's you that they're turning in to see. It's not so much the content that you're talking about. It's you. It's as the person they connect with, the person they can feel like he's like my best friend, or he's like my neighbor or my brother, or someone I can connect with. And especially during COVID, like I said, when I wrote in my letter to you, is that people are lonely. They had nobody. They couldn't go anywhere. They lost friends. They lost loved ones. And to be able to tune in and watch you guys on your shows, and we laugh and talk to each other in the chat, it was like our own community, for real. A real place where you could hang out with the people that you felt you could connect with. And that's what you offer. And now that you're doing this whole thing with working out and sharing it, see, that's not just that you're doing it and then we can see the transformation of how you've shedded weight and how you've got a more of a healthy glow to yourself, and you just seem more confident, and things. I think that it comes across to the people watching saying, well, if he can do it, and he's that busy, then I can too.
I get it. I mean, I had an email a couple of days ago from somebody that was just said, hey, thank you for just playing the Mist streams, because I actually started watching your channel when you started the first Mist stream. And I was going through this and that back then, and to sort of get that memory back and get that sort of vibe back again by you playing the game again was just so good. I was just like, that's lovely stuff. And I do get a lot of emails from people. I have had a lot of emails from people that have said, your journey's inspired me to go on my own journey. Some of them seem to be doing a lot better than me, which means I've got to up my game. But it's great to see that. I've made plenty of mistakes in YouTube. I have been down the avenue of thinking you're above your audience and realized, my God, no. When I wanted to stop doing World of Warcraft content and go on to more just general gaming content, I just thought people would shift across to that. And I didn't quite understand why your audiences connect to you and stuff like that. So I've made some horrendous mistakes, and I've been humbled incredibly because of it. And then, like you said, the weird thing is I had an opportunity at Redemption, and I didn't want to take it because I was stubborn and obstinate, and my friend, one of my real life friends, called me an absolute fucking idiot, and said, you need to do this video on this. So I did this video about the thing which I'd abandoned, and I was just expecting the chat to just be like, fuck off, just fuck off. And it was just pretty much the whole thing was just, we love you, we miss you, please come back, please. And I was just, it was then you see that, it's just like, fuck. You just like, it's then that it dawns on you exactly how synergistically you should work with your audience. And how your audience is a part of your channel, how much that does affect your channel. And it doesn't matter if you want to change certain things or certain contents, as long as your audience is okay with the manner in which you're doing it and how you do it. I mean, if I was to suddenly become a cookery channel tomorrow, people would be like, what the fuck? What's going on? But there's nothing wrong with introducing new things in or letting your audience also suggest certain things. And it was my audience that suggested, because I would just do video game content. And it was my audience that said, hey, could you do us a favor? Could you review this new season of Doctor Who, because I'd be talking about Doctor Who and just in streams when I'm video gaming, go, fuck, could you do it? I was like, oh. So I started to do it. And then in doing that, they're like, can you do this show? Can you? And then that led to doing the Batwoman show and stuff like that.
I loved it. I love that. That was one of my favorites so far. I just loved it. It just made me laugh every time you would say it with your facial expressions, things, because it was so personal to you. And that's what people love watching is, I feel, is your personal touch added. And we all feel the same way, especially when you say it and you're like, that's right. I do feel exactly the same way as what he's saying. So it's because it's a connection that you have. And I at least do with my thought process of what I'm watching you, even though, you know, your accent is nice to listen to too. I won't deny that. But yeah, I just love it. I just think that I like it when you just yourself, and we could tell.
But we're all fans of these things. This is just it. It's not some guy decides to talk about this show. These are things that we're all connected to. You know, I'm a huge Batman fan. I've been a Batman fan for, oh my God, since I was a child. I'd grow up watching the Adam West TV show like most kids tend to do. And then when the Tim Burton movie came along, that was just like, oh my God, this guy can be like this. And then that started to get me eventually into comics and comics to, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So it kind of escalated over the course of the last 40 odd years or so. And these are things that we love. We love our Star Trek. We love our Doctor Who. We love our Star Wars. And as fans of this, we have every right to vent our frustrations when a corporation comes along or somebody comes along and wants to ultimately change it at the very foundation to something which it doesn't represent and is never represented. Next week, a week ago today, next week, this time next week, I'm actually going to be streaming with Robert Mark Burnett, and we're just going to be having a wonderful stream about Space 1999. We're going to be discussing the series, season 1. There was another season 2. Don't even talk about season 2. Because it's just something that we both love. Because of connecting with Gary, connected with other people, that led me to Robert. And then Robert and I both had the love of The Prisoner, so we ended up doing the wonderful reviews of The Prisoner TV series. Which is, things like that are just such a joy to do. But this is because we love them, and the authenticity is the fact that we truly do. We're not riding a gravy train. We're not saying, oh, this franchise is popular right now, or this has got eyes on for the algorithm or the view, so we're jumping onto that. No, this is stuff that we, you know, you go around any of our houses or whatever, you're going to see memorabilia, DVDs, whatever it may be. Yes, Martino, as plus RMB plus Space 1999 equals next Thursday. And so, because we all love these things, your audience can connect to that because these are things which they are mad about. And been fortunate enough to have such a sort of a rich history of watching these things, because these were our childhoods for most of it. You know, Star Wars was our childhood. Star Trek was our childhood. You know, Space 1999, childhood. These are things that were our childhood, which have followed us all the way through. The Prisoner series being so popular because thematically, you can watch The Prisoner today, and I've just recently rewatched the series again. A show made in 1967, but thematically, you can see even today. Oh my God, this show is just prophetic, and it's not that it's prophetic, but it's because we don't learn from our mistakes as a society.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, over and over again, and thematically, you can place them like A Change of Mind, the episode A Change of Mind, which is about being a social outcast, being a pariah from society, aka cancelled. AKA social media. So you could take A Change of Mind, watch that, and apply it immediately to something like X and the cancel culture and stuff like that. And crazy. You can watch The General and be like, oh my goodness me, this is just an incredible damning indictment at education system in the West. As you're not being taught anything, you're being parroted. You're just repeating sentences that you're not learning. You're regurgitating. So these are absolutely thematically wonderful things that you can get into. The individual versus the state. My goodness me, that's never been as relevant as it is today. Because it's always been relevant. That's just this thing. It's always been relevant. We just now have more technologies which make us more aware of what is going on. So yeah, we all have huge investments in these things, whether it's Transformers, G.I. Joe, Batman, Rippaverse, shout out Rippaverse, or whatnot. But yeah, authentically and genuinely, we love these things. And there's a lot of tourists in our franchises right now.
Well, the thing is that most things start over there. You know what I mean? Things seem to pop up over in your territory over the other side of the pond. And then more people start taking notice. And then next thing you know, it's sweeping across America. At least that's how it seems to me. I have lots of friends they're from London, because, I frequent Spaces a lot on X. I'm absolutely hooked to Spaces, and I've met so many wonderful people. And just listening to some of the things that like 7 or 8 months ago that was popular, and then all of a sudden I start hearing it over here. A little more here and there, and getting to laugh at you guys talking about our politics and stuff. It makes me feel like, see, I'm not such a bad person, because I think our country's, going down the tubes, and you guys agree, so I don't feel so dumb. You know what I mean?
No,
and I talk about politics all the time. So it's just nice to get a break, to go to channels like yours and know that pretty much that's not going to be the content. You're going to take me away from my frustrations of what's going on in my country, and getting to sit and watch you and laugh and just be entertained by just you simply playing a video game, but it's entertaining, and you're just fun. I just wanted to let you know that you just make me laugh. You're fun. And you're a wonderful person. And the fact that you have such good people in your life to help you with your journey, with your home, in your home life, away from the apps or whatever, it's comforting for me to know that you have that. And your cat, your cat.
A beautiful Belle.
She's beautiful.
Before any of this, I had a life lived. My friends, my IRL friends, they've been my friends for over 20 years. This isn't who's the flavor of the month social media darling that you try and chub up to, or nonsense like that. No.
Yeah.
My real life friends, they've been in my life for over 20 years. We're going to be friends till the day we die. We're very different people. It's utterly irrelevant that we are, because we're drawn together by our commonalities, which is what we used to have. That's what used to bind people together. That's why fandoms used to be so strong until they were ripped apart by corporation, because corporation doesn't believe in the organic joining of people. Corporation believes in algorithms and groups and spreadsheets, and they take those datas and they say that's who our audience should be. This, and it just never works that way, because corporations will never understand fandoms.
So I wanted to ask you, though, is who in your life is your biggest supporter of of anything that you choose? Is it your mom or your dad or your siblings, or is it your best friend, or what? I mean, who is it that makes you want to get up and do more, even when you get really frustrated or whatever? Who is it that you feel supports you the most when it comes to that?
My biggest support is my missus. I think I can say that quite happily. She's just incredible, just the most supportive, wonderful person I could ever ask for. And she just absolutely believes in what I'm doing. believes in the philosophy of being myself, and yeah, it's so it just empowers you to carry on, and it's wonderful to have somebody there that you can just run things past or kind of talk about or this and that. But it's yeah, that's
So
such an
what
important
did
rock
she
element.
think?
Yeah.
What did she think about your journey when you decided to start doing the workouts and things like that to start getting healthy? Was she like really happy that you were starting to think on those terms?
Yeah,
Did she
again, biggest
promote you
supporter.
or push you into it?
Yeah, never judged, never judged. Huge supporter.
Mhm.
Um, understand again, just even when I'm feeling down, just the pep up that I'll get is incredible. The
Good.
support I'll get there is incredible. Constant reminds me about where I have been, even when I'm just like, ugh, and get so frustrated with not being here or not being where I want to be, or I should be further down the line than I am now, and this and that.
Mhm.
And yeah, just puts things into perspective and just allows you to regroup and go on,
Because so many people don't have that, so many people, because of COVID, for one, because of different things that happened in their life because of that, don't have anyone anymore. They've either divorced or they've broken up or they've passed away. There's so many, they lost their job and it caused lots of problems that way. I see so much of that. So it's nice to see somebody who's working hard, and they're still working hard at it, to do the best they can at everything they do in their life, whether it's off camera or on camera, with their family and their friends, and to motivate other people and to also motivate themselves. And
Yeah.
you just exude that, I feel. I feel like every time I see you, it's almost like, I can't explain it. It's like a bright light shines from you because you're happy to be where you are in your life. You're happy. Even sometimes I've noticed you've been a little bit irritable, but you still have that inner glow that even though I'm not right exactly where I'm going to be there. I don't know. Does that make sense? What
No,
I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean. I'm my toughest critic. I'm my harshest critic. I'll
Yeah.
always be, I'll always be that person. I don't care. Well, in as much as I'm very happy for my friends' successes in YouTube, but I don't compete. I'm not in, I compete against myself. That's who I've got to compete against.
Yeah.
You start thinking about competing with other people. You can't control. I can't control how things work. No, compete with yourself. Try and be better yourself. Try and do what can I change that I want to change, or what can I do that I want to do? And all of these journeys that I'm talking about, it's wonderful to have these support structures with you, family, friends, etc. Ultimately, you can only ever do them for yourself. So yeah, sometimes I do get frustrated. I'm as fucking normal a person as you're ever going to find. If you meet me IRL, I'm just a country bumpkin. That's all I am. There's no pretensions about me. I live in a nice little small house. I like my little house though. I live in a small house in a beautiful part of the country in terms of just wonderful fields and beautiful vistas and the countryside, because I'm just a country boy. I hate concrete jungles. And so only I can help myself. I can have all of these other things around me, but only I can help myself. So sometimes I can get irritable and frustrated. The likelihood is the irritation and frustration is me with myself. Now somebody can say something that's going to fucking just make me go off on one.
Yeah.
But that's just probably me just trying to be cathartic, just getting some sort of cathartic release. But no, nobody can say anything harsher to me than I can say to myself. Nobody can do anything to offend me more than I can fucking really get on top of myself. So yes, excuse me. right now, I believe I should be way ahead of where I am in terms of my journey. So that frustrates me because the only person that's prevented that is me. You see, because it's there's nobody to blame other than yourself, and there's nobody to re-energize you other than yourself. Now, your friends obviously can offer all the support under the sun, which is fantastic because those rocks are great. Unless you yourself can get your mind in that right set. So yeah, I'm looking down the barrel of 2024 now. Rest of September, October, November, December, January, big month for me next year, and I just want to. That's almost 5 months, 4.5 months, to kind of like, all right, let's really focus for those 4.5 months. What can we do in those 4.5 months? And I'm beginning to get myself back in that mindset. So yeah, I'm a biggest critic. I'm a harshest critic. And I'll beat myself up more than anyone can ever beat me.
Well, I just want to tell you, I really appreciate you coming on my little channel and making me just feel like I'm such a special person just to get to even talk to you. But the thing is that I thought your story, and I've said it, I've tried to say it as much as I can on comments on your Instagram and stuff, of how proud I am of your journey, and that you're doing such a good job, and you're inspiring people, other people that normally would feel that, why should I even try? What good is it what's it gonna do for me? But the thing is, it does help you, not just by your health, but it helps you with your self-esteem, and where you think you can do in your life for yourself. And how can you help other people if you don't help yourself? You know what I mean?
Well,
So
exactly. Then you come
have
across
that.
as a hypocrite. Yeah.
But you have that. I read lots of other people's comments to you and stuff. And I don't know. I just think that you're very inspiring. And I just hope that you keep doing what you're doing. Whatever it is that's going on in your life is good and it works. So it's nice to see that in this day and age with so much hate and sadness and anger, and things going on. But you got a nice channel that is a light. Even your Instagram, your YouTube, and your X channel, everything that you have to me is always fun. There's something good to read that you're putting out, and it's inspiring. And I just wanted you to know that. And I'm very thankful for you joining me. And it's almost been a whole hour, so I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate it. And I know you're busy, and I just want to say thank you so much for sharing with us and anyone else who gets to watch this video your journey through your choices that you made to get healthy and to start taking better care of yourself. And the fact that you mentioned other people helping you, that's good, because so many people look around and think, oh, they're hounding me, or they're bothering me. They're constantly saying you need to do this, and I don't want to do it, but the fact that you listened and you stepped back and looked at yourself and said, yep, it is time for me to do something. And you did it. And look where you are now. I just think it's awesome.
A lot of people that care around me, they won't tell me what to do because they know I'm my own person. They'll never tell me what to do, but they always want the best for me. And so when I come to the realization, or I make the decision, then the support that they give me is absolutely incredible. I can flip it, what you just said onto yourself. It's amazing to be on a channel that has just been such a huge supporter and care. That's the thing, to see somebody that cares. And I've brought that out by hook or by crook. Brought that out is very humbling indeed. I know I got a long way to go. I know my journey isn't in any capacity finished. I would argue that I'm most likely around halfway through the journey that I want to go through to get to the result that I want to be at. But it is about progressing still. It is about progressing, and even if you trip, fall, you fall back a couple of paces. It is about getting up and refocusing and moving back forward again, and not to beat yourself up over it. Understand that mistakes can happen or setbacks can happen, and just try to rekindle the mindset as much as possible. I'm just very lucky to have a wonderful fan base, a wonderful group of people that either watch this stuff or have been invested in the journey, or have sent words of encouragement, lots and lots and lots of encouragement. Particularly when I do my afternoon tea on Sunday, because there's the Ocean Man video, and I'm a lot bigger in the Ocean Man video than I am now. And every week that I start the show and that video comes on, there'll be somebody in the chat that says, bloody hell, Az has lost a lot of weight since this. So, I always take that as a little bit of a, I always take that as a bit of a motivating factor as well. And when I get to where I want to get, I got footage of where I used to be. So when I get to where I'm going to get, I'm probably going to do this video, and I'm going to start putting all the footage and the videos and or the pictures of where I was versus where I am now. But I got to earn that. I got to earn that. I got to earn that point. So motivating. Thank you.
Well, I want to say applause to you, because it's very rare that anyone gets to see someone's transformation. And it's actually happening as I watch, not because I knew that you were going to do it, just because I already was watching you. I was already liked who you were and what you had to offer as a viewer. Okay. And then getting to see you go through the journey, it's just inspiring. And I just love seeing people that can see that in themselves, that no matter what they do, and even if they're popular or a famous star or whatever, that can always improve themselves. And I'm a firm believer in that all the way up until the day I die of hopefully very old person, that I can learn all the way up until the day I'm gone, the day that I'm going to leave this earth, that I can always learn something. And I wish more people could open their mind and look around and see what other people have to offer, because there's so much wonderful knowledge out there. And that's how I feel when I get to watch you. I feel like the people watching you are full of knowledge, and they see a spark, that you say something and it makes them want to go try something new that maybe they have never done. That's what I like about it. I just love and the happiness you get, the joy that you get out of playing games and things that you're involved in. Just like you said, not very many people get to do what you get to do, enjoy it and make money from it, make something from it. And that's because you've earned it. You've worked hard, and seeing someone work hard to achieve their goals is another inspiring thing, because so many people just say, oh, well, I'll just try something else. Nobody wants to, work it out, hang in there until they accomplish their goal. And I just love it. I just want you to know that you're very inspiring, and not just to me, but I've talked to other people and read the chats and watched you progress. And I definitely can see that you inspire many, many people. So I'm just thankful that you let me talk to you about it, because to me, it means a lot, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing YouTube now for 12 and a half years. It's,
Wow.
the thing that's that's just it. It's the longest job I've ever had, and the greatest job I've ever had. And long may it continue, but I'll take every day that I can. And I'll be grateful for every day that I get on here, and to do the things that I love to do. So yeah, it's like I said, it's incredibly flattering and incredibly humbling to hear such just incredible support for some, in my eyes, silly Yorkshireman that just shouts at a webcam.
Well, I just want to say thank you. And I know that you have another show that you're going to have to get ready to go do. And it's been a little bit of an hour, but I just want to say thank you again to everyone in the chat that wanted to come and hang out and watch Az talk about his journey, which I'm so thankful for. And I just want you to know to never give up. Keep doing what you're doing. Just be yourself. and everyone's going to keep coming to see you and hang out and want to see more of what you have to offer, simply because you're being you. And that's what I just think you're awesome. Just wanted you to know that.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Janet.
You're very welcome. And all of you guys, I hope I'll see you tomorrow night on the Friday Night Shit Show at 9:10. And thank you very much. And thank you, Az. Bye.